Hello, 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 and welcome everybody to today's live stream. It is March 13th of 2025, and welcome in. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over the deposition of Roberta Laundrie and reading some of the different things in the recent light. So we'll be covering Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie next week. And hello, everybody. Hello, chat. We will be, let me see if this chat does this work today? No, my chat doesn't work again. Haha, Twidget, thank you. So we will be covering the hold on, I'm trying to get my, okay. We'll be covering Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie next week. I broke down the 3-part documentary. We will be talking about it. There are a lot of things that a lot of people didn't know about. And there's a lot of things that I want to talk about, mostly Brian's parents' alleged involvement. I just want to say everything that I say on a live stream is alleged. It is my own opinion, and the facts that I get are always from online. I encourage you to form your own opinion, do your own research. We're just here to have a chat and discuss some of the different things in these different cases. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up so we can get into it and start reading. So we're going to go to Roberta Laundrie deposition. Now, if you guys don't know, it only took me 2 tries to get chat to work. If you guys don't know, the Petitos tried to sue or bring a civil lawsuit, a wrongful death lawsuit. Or no. Hold on. Let me just make sure I have my facts right. Petitos. I believe it was a civil suit. Before we can go into this. So a little breakdown of the case. Brian and Gabby are dating. Brian unalives Gabby in Utah, drives back with her van using her credit card, goes to his parents' house. His parents immediately get him a lawyer. He ends up disappearing and then ending his own life. So they did not participate in helping the Petitos try to find their daughter at any point in time. So what they did was they brought a wrongful death lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's estate in May of 2022. Gabby Petito's mother, Nicole Schmidt, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's estate, alleging that Laundrie intentionally killed Gabby, resulting in funeral and burial expenses, as well as the loss of care and companionship. In November of 2022, a judge awarded $3 million to Gabby's estate. However, it's important to know that Brian's estate had minimal assets, making the actual recovery of this amount unlikely. Number 2 was emotional distress lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's parents and their attorney, Stephen Bertolino. Gabby's parents, Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, sued Brian's parents, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, and their attorney, Stephen Bertolino, for intentional infliction of emotional distress. In the lawsuit alleged that the Laundries and their attorney knew about Gabby's death while she was still considered missing and withheld this information, causing additional pain and suffering to Gabby's family. And this lawsuit was settled in February of 2024 after mediation with the terms remaining confidential. The wrongful death lawsuit against the Moab Police Department in November of 2022, Gabby's parents filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Moab Police Department in Utah. They alleged that the police officers who interacted with Gabby and Brian during a domestic dispute in August of 2021 failed to protect their daughter adequately. The lawsuit claimed that the officers did not follow proper protocols, which could have prevented Gabby's subsequent death. However, this lawsuit was dismissed in November of 2024 due to the Governmental Immunity Act of Utah, which provides sovereign immunity to government entities. The judge acknowledged that the judge acknowledged that the officers' conduct could have contributed to Gabby's death, but cited legal protections for the dismissal. Gabby's parents plan to appeal this decision, arguing that the Immunity Act is unconstitutional. So that's what we have for right now. We did go over the the body cam footage. We did go over the 911 phone call, and I think it is, universally, everybody thinks that the Moab Police Department, in this case, when you watch a breakdown of that body cam footage, failed Gabby horrifically. So the one thing that we're going to be doing today is we are going to be going through the deposition of Roberta Laundrie and what she had to say when the Petitos sued her and her husband. Long time since I've made a live. Sending love from Georgia. Well, welcome in. Hi, Jumping Fox. How are you? We love to see it. All right, so let me change. There we go. Let me change some things. We have the deposition right here so you can see it. Also, we're going to have to make this much bigger because your girl is blind. Also, all right, so in here, are you currently married? What's the date of your marriage? Do you know what happened to his old phone? So this is talking about Brian. Let's see. Investment properties. When was Brian's birthday? When did you first meet Gabby Petito? She came to our apartment in Medford, Indiana. Medford? Is that Indiana? I guess. The fall of late summer of 2019. We moved there in 2020, so it could have been 20. I'm not sure. And she gives the address. I just remembered that Brian brought her over one day and we met her and he introduced her as, quote, Gabrielle. I don't remember if he said the word girlfriend, but he introduced her and we met her. And then a week or so later, we all went out to dinner and just kind of slowly got to know her. Let's see. Did Brian, thank you, wannabe, let's see. Prior to Gabby, did he have any girlfriends? Not that she was aware of. He never brought anyone home. No, just lots of friends, but I can't name a specific person that he introduced as his girlfriend. Did he have any issues at school? No, he never got in any kind of trouble. He was never in any fights. Did he have anger issues? No. Did he have a temper? No. Describe, if you would, for me, please. For the 5 years prior to 21, tell me about him. You know, this is something that's very interesting to me. And I almost, like, in my brain, I was like, that's not true. He's got to have some sort of, like, temper or some sort of issues. But then I look at the Chris Watts case, right? And you look at Chris as kind of this just kind of even-keeled introvert in the background, very reserved kind of person. And he didn't have any anger issues. And he didn't have, or I shouldn't say he didn't have any anger issues. He never showed that he had any anger issues. He never showed any sort of aggression, or anything like that. So it could very well be that Brian never had any issues at school and never got in any trouble. And which is why, this was so out of left field. Or maybe he was good at hiding it because it was very obvious to Rose Davis, Gabby's friend, and obviously Gabby, that Brian had some anger issues and manipulative issues. And but Roberta would describe him. He's a very sweet boy, kind, considerate, loving. He loved his nephews. He loved his sister. He loved us. He had a lot of friends that he was friendly with. He was a good boy, hard worker, and I could go on and on. He was wonderful. Has he ever gotten fired from any job? No. Did he hear anyone suggest that he was physically abusive in any way? Not at all. When did you first meet Gabby? And this is when we talk. The quiet ones, yeah. 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 No. Chris Watts, unstable, to say the least. Absolutely. What was your understanding of their relationship at the time? I just assumed it was his girlfriend. Not officially, but I just, bringing her around and hanging around, I just assumed it was his girlfriend. In the documentary, in the documentary, Gabby's parents also talked about how she never, said Brian was her boyfriend. It just kind of, morphed into that thing. So I don't see, they were just always together, and everybody, like, they never outwardly made it official, but it just, they became boyfriend, girlfriend over time. They moved to Florida in December of 2020. And I'm sorry, it could have been 2020. I met her. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Okay, so this is where they talk about meeting Gabby for the first time. Let's see. And over the period of time, the first time you met her in fall of 2019 until you moved to Florida in 2020, how often would you see her? They came to visit once or twice. When you say came to visit, are you talking about where there came a time when they moved to Florida? Yes. Do you know when they moved to Florida? When Brian and Gabrielle moved to Florida, it was around December of 2020. I would say it was December. All right, and this is where she talks about them. So if you don't know, everybody was from Long Island in the beginning, the Petitos and the Laundries. And then the Laundrie parents end up moving to Florida, and then Brian and Gabby also end up moving to Florida. Brian's mom would hide a crime with him, so there's that. Yes, there's the burn after reading. There is the burn after reading. What is that? The letter. Yes, absolutely. How would you, just as you've described Brian, how would you describe Gabby? Describe her. Sweet, cheerful, friendly, warm, affectionate, kind, thoughtful. Just a really nice girl. What was your relationship with her during that period of time? Very friendly. I wish, hi, Kat. I really wish, instead of reading this, just to hear it in somebody's cadence, to hear it in somebody's voice, like, I really wish we could get a better understanding by, like, listening to it. But just see their mannerisms, I want to see when people speak, like, what do they do? How do they look? How do they sound? I really wish that we had an opportunity to see that. What did you observe about the relationship between Brian and Gabby? I thought they were very sweet together, very playful together. They enjoyed each other, and I thought it was a nice, good relationship. Did your relationship with Gabby ever change over time? Hi, sending love for them from the Netherlands. Thank you. Welcome in. Wait. What is this? Ever change over time? No, we got closer as we knew each other longer and longer. As we knew each other longer and longer, we grew closer and we really cared for each other. I cared for her. I believe she cared for me too. She always said so. Did you love her? Yes. Were you jealous of her relationship with Brian? No. Do you recall an incident where you threw a pie or cake away? I don't remember until you mentioned it yesterday. I didn't throw the pie away. It was silly, and my feelings got hurt over a comment on the pie, and I did apologize to Gabrielle because I think my feelings were hurt and I was sulky, but I thought it was all forgotten and we were fine until after that. But I was a little sulky that night. And the next day, everything was fine and I apologized and she was fine with it. And I thought I'd forgotten all about it until it came up yesterday and I felt really bad. But I thought it was, I really thought nothing of it. I thought she thought nothing of it too. And what was the comment that was upsetting to you? I don't remember if it was a comment so much. It was, I had made dinner and I had made this pie and I was excited about my pie and to present it on the table. My mother was visiting and I think I was just exhausted from all the people in the house. And when I put the pie down, I think there was a comment. I think there was just a ruckus. I think there was just a ruckus at the table where it's so silly, but nobody made a nice comment. I guess it was a lack of a comment. Nobody said, oh, nice pie. And I know that's so silly and I regret it, but I got annoyed. And I don't know why I got annoyed at kind of everybody and a little bit at Gabrielle. And it was silly and I felt bad. I don't even remember it. I vaguely remember it. I just remember it was a pie and I was embarrassed, but I didn't throw out the pie. We ate the pie, but it was just, I don't know. I behaved not nicely, and I apologized to Gabrielle. She was very nice about it, and we were fine after that. You know, I made a white wine and like garlic pork chops last night with a homemade mashed potatoes and steamed broccoli. You know, and I just put food for people out to eat. You don't, this tells me she wants people to clap. Roberta wants people to clap. That's all it is. Can you describe the ruckus? Oh, and also all of this. And she's like, I remember I apologized to Gabrielle. Did you apologize to anyone else? Why was it only Gabrielle that you singled out? And what was it about Gabrielle that annoyed you? It was nothing specific that annoyed me about Gabrielle. We lived together and there were little things. I'm sure I annoyed her too. But like anything, even when I spend time with my daughter, who I love. I thought you also loved Gabby. That's a weird. With my daughter, who I love. Yeah, I would hope so. But nothing big. Nothing, normal everyday things. But I think we overall had a wonderful relationship, and I felt she loved me. I loved her, and I felt very bad about the pie coming up. Her ego needs to be fed. That's a very good point. Yes. She puts down the pie. Everybody. Oh, the pie. Thank you for the pie, Roberta. Thank you for that pie. Just thank you for blessing us. Okay. But anyways, let's see. Why did they leave the apartment? Well, we were there letting them live there for free, but it was supposed to be a rental property. And we bought it. We purchased it to rent, but the condo association said you can't rent it out for a year. I don't know. That was their rule. So we said, all right, rather than it stay empty for a year, Brian and Gabrielle can live in it. And so the year passed. Brian said, well, you guys probably want to rent it out now. Her personality traits seem to trickle down the family tree, I see. They all do. Has anybody seen Cassie Laundrie's Instagram? Why don't you go take a quick gander at that monstrosity? Let's see. This is about vacation. All right. Now we're getting into, let's see. Did you have any concerns about them getting engaged at a young age? No, because they were just well suited. And I was married at a young age, and I don't know. What do you mean, quote, well suited? I don't know. They got along so well. They both liked art and drawing. And I don't know. It just seemed like a good pair. What would you observe when they lived with you, the two of them doing together? What kinds of things did they do? I don't know. Just regular stuff. Occasionally they'd go on a hike, or they'd go shopping or grab something to eat. They'd go for a walk at night. She just wanted someone to say her pie was nice. Seems legit. They did things together. Did your Brian? Okay. How did you become aware? Oh, wait, it goes up. I see how it goes. Okay. I'm reading this a little weird. Okay. Did your relationship with Brian change after he started dating Gabby? No, I don't think it changed. Did you continue to do all those things together? Well, by then he was living in Florida. So, he was living in Florida. What? Okay. Did he ever tell you during that period of time that he had any issues with Gabby? The answer is no. Did they? So this is about the storage unit. I already knew about the storage unit, and I saw them working on the van. So no, I wasn't surprised. Question, but you do know they decided to move it into the storage as opposed to just leaving it at the house. No, that's why I had asked my son after they were on the trip. I suggested to him, why don't you just store it here? I don't know why you're paying for a storage unit. That was my idea. I said, why are you paying for a storage unit? We have an empty room. Everything we could, it was the size of a storage room unit, the bedroom. We could pile up the boxes in there, but he didn't want to inconvenience us. And we said, we don't mind. You lost. I am lost. It was an extra room. All right. And you said they were fixing up the van. What did they do? Well, Brian was converting it into a camper van. Not Gabby? Do you know where they got the van? No. Do you know whose name the van was titled in? Yes. Whose name? Gabrielle. When did you learn that? I guess I saw the title. I don't remember. When did you see it? Don't remember. Before. Oh, but I knew pretty early on. Before they left? Yes. Let's discuss this little tidbit. Because Chris and Roberta Laundrie come out the night that the police go to their house and they ask about the van. And they said, is this Gabby's van? And Christopher says, no, it's the both of theirs. And Roberta does not interject. Then the police officer leaves. The sergeant comes back. And the sergeant says, this is Gabby's van. And Chris goes, well, I don't know that. And the police officer goes, no, I'm telling you that. This is Gabby's van, and we're going to tow it, and we're going to take it. And Roberta was standing right there. She knew, I knew early on that van belonged to Gabrielle. I'm trying to unhate these people, and I just can't. They make it impossible. They really make it impossible. Did you discuss the trip with them, where they were going, how long they were going to be gone, things of that nature? No, I didn't discuss it with them directly, but Chris had told me that they were. No, I did. I remember Gabrielle telling me too. Her brother was graduating and she was going to go. They were going to camp their way down. I don't remember who told me, whether it was Brian, Chris, or Gabby, but they were going to camp their way down. But I do remember Gabrielle telling me her brother was graduating. She wanted to go to her brother's graduation. At this time, did your husband have a closer relationship with Brian than you? I would say we were both close with Brian. Was it your understanding that they were only traveling up to New York? At the time, yes. When did you learn they were going out west? When they didn't come back for a while, my daughter had seen a post. I don't know if it was Snapchat. I don't know what thing they used. And she took a screenshot of it and sent it to me. And she said, oh, look, they're out west. Do you know where they were at that point? No. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Exactly. That's just an approximate. Did you speak with Brian during that month period? No, I don't think I spoke with Brian all summer, and I could be. You mean to tell me this mother, Roberta Laundrie, didn't speak with her son? As close as you are, you didn't check in, you didn't send a text, you didn't give him a phone call. He calls you and asks you to retain a lawyer for $25,000. You haven't spoken to him the whole summer? Was it unusual for you to go such a long period of time without speaking to him? No, the last time he took a trip, we didn't speak until he got back. This is a woman. I tried to make the boy mama sound, but I have DaVinci Resolve on this computer and I hate it. Where is it?
Hashtag boy mom. Hashtag boy mom.
That's what that is. You mean to tell me that a woman who wrote a letter to her son that said, if you hate my guts, I will get new guts. If you have to bury a body, I will bring a shovel and a garbage bag. If you go to jail, I will bake a file in a cake. This woman didn't text her son while he was camping in a van for the whole summer? Lying ass liar. Wait, what's this? Nothing? No. Lion ass liar. Allegedly all for entertainment purposes only. That's the same thing, Clyde. Who's Clyde Barker? Who's that? Do you know if your husband spoke with him during that month interval? I recall he called for Father's Day, I believe. After you learned from your daughter that they were out west, did you call Brian and say, hey, where are you going? What are you doing? I can't recall. I probably did, but I can't say for certain. I'm sure I must have called or texted, but I can't remember if he called or texted back. I just don't remember. And I know what the purpose, and you don't know what the purpose of the trip out west was. At the time, I don't know for sure. I just assumed they were out west because they had done it once before. They had taken a cross-country road trip, so I said, oh, I guess they're taking another road trip, country trip. The one that they took before, I think that's the one you told me about in 2020. Yes. Do you know where they went on the trip? All right, so here's more about them on the trip. And then we'll go, let's see. I think right before Brian left, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, another trip? I thought, you guys were going to live here and save your money and get a house. But he was like, it's not going to be that much because we're going to stay in the van. And that was my only concern. I thought he wanted to save money for a house. I was a little disappointed, but he was like, it's not going to cost much. And we have the van. There's a lot of free camping out there, and I just felt better about it. That was my only concern. I like the mom's fire. Oh, my God. We don't like anything about this mom wannabe. I'm going to make this bigger because I can't see anything. When you said before they left, do you mean they left your home in early of June 2021? Well, that's right. I guess I didn't have an idea that he would be going longer than the graduation. I think I suspected he was going longer than the graduation, although he didn't come right out and say it because he was fixing up the van. I had a feeling. First, I thought he was fixing up the van just to do weekend trips, but between the storage unit and fixing up the van, I thought he was going for longer. And right before he left, I just thought he was going for another trip like he did before. It might be long, but I don't know for sure. It's foggy. I'm sorry. That time is just 2 years ago, and it's a little foggy, and I'm having trouble with but I think that's right. I think I got it right. Have you ever been diagnosed with memory issues? Damn. No. Or cognitive issues. It's not a memory issue. It's just, it was 2 years ago and so much has happened and I'm trying to remember exactly. When you said they modified the van, which I like that. When you said they modified the van, because Gabby did do some of that as well. When you said they modified the van, can you tell me what they did? I remember looking at it once when he was working on it and it looked like there was a platform. There were some shelves coming down. They were making it so that they could camp in it. A little shelf for a table and a platform. They put a little rug in it and made it comfortable. Was there a mattress in the van? I did see one. Did you or your husband assist in any way with the work that was done in the van? No, I don't think so. I think, he used my husband's tools and everything in the garage, but if I recall your testimony correctly, and please tell me if I'm wrong, they left in June, early June. You didn't talk to Brian until you learned that they were on a trip out west, correct? Roberta says, I don't remember the first time I talked to Brian once they left. I just can't recall. And how often would you speak to him? Not much at all. They were on a trip. I wasn't hearing from him. I would ask my daughter if she had heard from him. And I don't know. I just assumed that they don't have phone service. Why didn't you try to call him? I think I did. I'm sure I must have texted or called. Do you know if your husband spoke with him? And this is about Father's Day. Okay. Let's see. At any time, did you become aware of any incidents between Brian and Gabby? I could live in a van. I think I could do it. And travel, I think that would be super fun, actually. No, In particular, on August 12th, there was an incident at Moab where the police were contacted. When did you learn about that? When it was on TV after, whenever it had televised on TV after. I guess that was September or October of 2021. So Brian never contacted you about the incident? No. Did you ever discuss it with Brian? No, because I didn't know about it until after Brian was deceased. He was deceased by the time I saw it on TV. I guess the thing that I'm struggling with is he called his parents in a panic to tell them that Gabby was gone immediately and asked for a lawyer that cost them $25,000 in a retainer, right? So he wouldn't call his parents to tell them that there was a domestic violence dispute or a domestic dispute between them, especially if he wasn't the one that got in trouble. It was Gabby. Brian came home on August 17th of 2021. Yes. Why did he come home? I suggested he emptied out the storage unit and save some money. So he did. He said, great. And he did that. I don't know if that was his main reason, but that's what I think. I think it was also to visit us and visit his nephews and, empty out a storage unit. How much did the storage unit cost him a month? I don't know. Did he pay for his airline ticket? I don't know. I assume we didn't pay for it. So neither you nor your husband paid for it. Right. And your understanding before he flew home on the 17th, did you know he was coming home? Yes. And he told you he was coming home to move things out of the storage unit? Yes. Did he say why? Save some money. Oh, because they were going to be there longer than originally, I guess, planned. Hey, Ludwig, how are you? Welcome in. Okay, so Moab happens on the 17th, Moab happens on the 12th. He flies home to empty the storage unit on the 17th. And the police in the timeline believe that she is deceased on the 27th. So that's the timeline that we're working on. And then he goes home. I believe he leaves for home either the 28th or the 29th. What do you mean by that? Longer meaning? Well, I guess he thought maybe they would only be gone for a little while and store it. I don't know. I can't guess. Maybe he'd only store it for a while. And now I guess he was going to extend their trip, so he might as well put it back at home. What did he tell you about extending their trip? That he discovered a place where you could work, not be paid, but you would get to keep your van there for free. Camp there, and while you were working for them, you would learn about farming. It was some sort of farming co-op, or I don't know what they called it, but him and Gabrielle were going to work there and learn about farming to be able to put their van for free. And I thought that sounded great, and I was excited about that. I'm good. Hope all is well with you and your family. Yeah, I know we were talking about this the other day. I'll have to tell you guys about it in a live, but we do not have the results for my daughter's MRI. It's a long story. We all got the clap. I'm glad everybody is getting the clap. I love it. Clap for everyone. Everyone's got the clap over here. You don't know where? No. Did they tell you how long it would be before they came back? Well, they were going to help this farm, these pumpkins, and sell them for the farm. And then, after that, it was sort of up in the air, what they would do after that. Did you discuss when Brian was coming home on August 17th during the time frame? Did you discuss with him and Gabby's relationship? No. Did he mention Gabby at all? Not that I recall. No specific conversation I can recall. Did you ask about Gabby? Not that I recall. If I'm baking a cake with a file in it for my son, if he goes to prison, I'm going to ask him how things are going. Like, if you're that close, that you love your son that much, you're not going to ask him, hey, how's the trip going? Are you and Gabby doing? I do that with I don't know. I guess we're just, people are different. But I do that. Hi, Betsy. You ask, how are things going on the trip? How are things going with Gabby? Are you guys doing well? Are you happy? This all sounds like bullshit to me. I talked on the phone with Gabrielle, but I don't think I said, how's Gabrielle? I think I just asked Gabrielle herself, how are you? How long was Brian home? About a week. And do you recall the date he flew back west? No. So if he's home about a week and he comes the 17th, 7 days after that is going to be the 24th. So he would get back the 24th or the 25th. And then she would be deceased by allegedly the 27th. They don't know. They don't have the timeline. They think the 27th. Did he stay with you when he came home? Yes. What was the understanding of the relationship between Brian and Gabby at this point? My understanding of the relationship was just that they were together and still dating. And did he express to you any concerns about Gabby? No. He didn't tell you about the Moab incident, but he did tell you whether or not. Wait, I'm sorry. He didn't tell you about the Moab incident, but did he tell you whether or not they were having difficulty getting along? No, he didn't say anything like that. He didn't say anything about any arguments between them. No. He said, is it fair to say, he said, nothing that caused you... Oh, is it fair to say, he said, I'm trying to switch back between lawyer brain and Roberta Laundrie brain, like, as I'm reading this to get a better understanding of, like, the cadence and the way that they're speaking. Is it fair to say he said nothing that caused you any concern about the relationship? Yes, I had no concern. Hey, Carl. And just like that, Carl, we've given you the clap. What was his demeanor and his attitude when he came home at that point in time? I've never been to Moab. I've never been to Utah, actually. We had a very nice week. He was very happy to see his nephews and his sister, and he seemed fine. Not from you. And yeah, I mean, he would be fine, right? He was the one slapping Gabby and got away with it scot-free. When he left to go back to Salt Lake City, what was his attitude and demeanor? He was fine. Was he excited to go back? Yeah, he was just going back. I don't know. He wasn't excited. He wasn't upset. He was just going back, and I think he was looking forward to his farming in the fall, and everything seemed good. Other than the telephone while Brian was on that trip with Gabby, did you communicate with him in any other way? I'm honored. We gave Carl the clap. Guess we need to go back to that's what it is now. That's what you guys have dubbed that the clap. So when people come in, we give them the clap. Thank you. Third time this week. Other than by telephone, how did you communicate with him? I don't recall. I might have emailed him, but that was pretty much either we talked on the phone, texted, but he wasn't much of an emailer. So I would only email him if it was I erased. Wait, no. I thought he might not look at it for a while because I didn't know what kind of reception he would even have or if he checked email. So I would either text or call. Where's my lid? So I don't spill this all over my computer. Where is my water lid? I am not to be trusted with liquids. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Betsy. Betsy thought she was getting out of here scot-free. Having a super chat highlighted and put up seems like a lot of pressure. What if your comment sucks? Well, I can't highlight it anymore because that's not working. I don't know why it's not working on my chat. I'm clear. Yeah, here's my cap right in front of me. Yeah, I don't know why that's not working. So for you to email him would be unusual. Yeah, I did email him now and then, but not much. We weren't really emailers. And we asked for copies of any email exchanges that you would have with him through Discovery. Is there a reason why you didn't provide any? I didn't think there were any, and if there were, I'm sure I provided them. Did you look? Yeah, we looked for everything. Yeah, we looked for everything and provided everything. Okay. You said you texted him. Did you keep the copies? Strike that. Did you keep the text messages in your phone? Yes, I have. I don't delete any, but sometimes my phone after a while deletes messages. It does? Mine doesn't. No, I was serious. I don't like the pomp and circumstance. I'm on a call, so I can hear nothing, but I love that I'm reading about the clap with no context. Well, when you're off the call, you can have the clap. Let's see. Do you still have the text messages between you and Brian? No, because when he bought a new phone and I answered his new number, it automatically erased all the old texts. What? No. No. Roberta. That is not how that works. That is not how that works. Do you still have the text messages with Brian or between you and Brian? No, because when he bought a new phone and I answered his new number, it automatically erased all the old texts. Ma'am, how dumb. It just puts it into a new text. It just puts it into a new text thread. Roberta. Fucking bullshit. Did you try to recover them? No, I didn't even know you could or how to go about doing that. So your testimony is that after he bought a new phone, it deleted all of the texts on your phone from his, strike that. Your testimony is that when he bought a new phone, all the text communications between Brian and you, which were on your phone, were deleted. Yes. Because when I put in the new phone number, I don't know, it just did it. No, it doesn't. I mean, unless you erase his contact and... I put in a new phone number for Brian, and it just, if I had added him as another Brian, like Brian 1 and Brian 2, I probably would have kept it. But because I added the new phone, it just deleted all the old texts. I need somebody to call me to see if this works. Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 marked for identification. I'm going to hand you what I've marked as Exhibit 1 for today's deposition, which I'll represent to you are the phone records that we've received for your cell service from AT&T. And if you look up on the first page underneath the line across the top, 3 lines down, it says voice usage. That's your cell phone number, correct? Okay, so I look at the first page and I go down 4 lines. Well, there's a line all the way across the top of the page, right? This, yes. If you go down 3 lines from that, it says voice usage 4. Oh, got it. Please turn to page 15. There is an item at the top and it has numbers, and I want you to look at line 231. According to this record, on August 5th of 2021, Brian called you and spoke for 54 minutes. Oh, August 5th. So we did talk. That was August 5th of 21. Okay, so we talked. That was a pretty long conversation. Do you recall what you talked about during that conversation? Not at all. I guess just catching up. I could guess we were catching up. I'm not really directly affected on this topic, hence the multitasking, the lovely world of rail. For a super chat, we should get our own special sound. I should. We'll have to get something for a super chat. Absolutely. Was there a super chat that I missed? No. Okay. Just making sure. I don't ever want to. I want a birthday soundbite. Happy birthday to you. All right. Turn to page 20. Looking at line 316, there's another call on August 14th, 2021 at 8:55 at night from Brian that lasted 25 minutes. Do you see that? Yes, August 14th. So this is 2 days after Moab. I called him, right? No, he called you. Oh, he called me. Yes. Okay. Do you recall what that conversation was about? Was that maybe for his trip? Maybe if he came on the 27th or on the 17th, they were probably planning his flight and all that stuff. And then 2 days after the Moab incident, you didn't discuss the Moab incident with him on that call. No. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. On that same page, 2 days after your call with Brian, looking at line 324 on August 16th, at 1 o'clock in the morning, you called attorney Bertolino. ¿Por qué? Oh, at 1 o'clock in the morning? You called your lawyer at 1 o'clock in the morning? I'm sorry, that's a call to Brian. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, I normally wouldn't call my lawyer at 1 a.m. because that's not suspicious. Do you know why you were calling Brian on August 16th at 1:11 a.m. in the morning? Yeah. Was that the day I called him? I think it was. Well, the call didn't go through. To the best of my knowledge, it went to voicemail. Huh. Do you know on August 16th? Yes. I wonder if I dialed when I was sick. I'm not even up at 1 in the morning. I really cannot recall. Are you normally up at that time? No. And I'm not making phone calls either. Then 7 o'clock that evening, if you look at the line and turn to the next page, line 3, so now we're on page 21, line 334, you contacted at 7:06 attorney Bertolino's office number. The selective foggy memory. Yes. Can you hear us now, Critical? Let me know when you can hear us. Okay, so let's write this down. So August 12th is Moab. August 12th is Moab. August 16th. August 16th, they call Bertolino. I wonder if they were trying to get a lawyer for him for what happened in Moab. You can hear me? Hey, everybody, Critical gets the clap. Welcome. And then August 17th, he flies home. Brian flies home. Interesting. I'm sorry, I was just confused on the date. August 16th, I called him at 3:30. What? At 7, on August 16th, at 7:06, you called Attorney Bertolino's office. I called his office. Can I make a... What time is that? Can I make a point or maybe clarify something with you? The time that you are showing here says UTC, which I just had to look up. I think I Googled Greenwich Mean Time. So you know 1 a.m., it wouldn't have been 1 a.m. where she was or where Brian was. That's not testimony. Okay. Oh, my God. Hi, Red Sonia. How are you? Just want to make sure. Okay, so now this is about... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the time is. The point is, Brian called his mom and they called Stephen Bertolino, which is their attorney that they gave a $25,000 retainer to, August 17th. That's much different. That changes a lot of timelines. But you do know why you would have been calling Attorney Bertolino's office at that time, if I was calling. Well, sorry, not at that time. Do you know why on August 16th you were calling Attorney Bertolino's office? How long was the call? Why am I asking questions? And this is why I could never be a lawyer. Because I would be like, why are you calling the lawyer? Like, what? Just answer the question. Don't answer my question with a question. How long was the call? Shut up! Yes or no? Maybe I was just talking to one of the secretaries about, I know we had sold property that he was investing with Chris. So maybe it was, I don't know. All right. Okay, so this is 4 hours ahead. Okay, so I mean, I did call the office now and then for other reasons. I do have a friend that works in the office, and then we do investments with him. So, but I don't remember the reason at all I called him. Now tell me why. So here's the thing. At an attorney's office, don't they write down why you called? Don't they like note all these things? Although I don't know if they could give it to police because that would be like attorney-client privilege. I love Bears. Bears is always yelling. And to the extent that we previously talked about, so when I called him at 1 a.m, you would have been calling him at 10 or 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Okay. I was just calling. Okay. By the way, after Brian and Gabby went on their trip, did you change her mailing address to have everything forwarded to New York? I know she had wanted her mail forwarded, and I don't remember if she did it or if I did it, but I know she wanted her mail forwarded. I don't remember. You would think an attorney would memorialize the purpose of a conversation. Absolutely. Absolutely. You would think either the secretaries or paralegals or whoever it is that's on the phone, when you call them, are notating, right? Or whatever, typing. Why? He nothing but a heartache. All right. By the way, after Brian and Gabby went on their trip. So now in the documentary, her mom talks about how the mail started coming. And when she reached out to Gabby, Gabby's like, yeah, I didn't forward my mail there. And her mom was like, well, who did then? And Gabby was like, I think Roberta did it. I know she wanted her mail forwarded. I don't remember if she did it or if I did it. Why would you do it? We all see the BS in the statement. We're frustrated. Absolutely, Red Sonja. Absolutely. Why would you do it? She's 20. Why would you go to the post office? If she wanted her mail forwarded, that has nothing to do with you. Literally nothing. I know she had her mail forwarded. I don't remember if I helped her with it. If you helped her with it, wouldn't she have told her mom, like, yeah, me and Roberta went to the post office? I would help her with a lot of things because, like, sometimes she would have trouble with, like, I remember helping her look for a check in her check log. She didn't know how to do it, so I might have helped her do the mail. Or maybe she asked me to do it. I don't recall. But I do remember she wanted her mail forwarded. So then you're saying, so she lied to her mom, is what Roberta's saying. Because she told her mom that she doesn't know why or how it got forwarded, and that Roberta probably did it. So Roberta is now saying Gabby's lying, allegedly all for entertainment purposes only. All right. On August 26th of 2021 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you contacted attorney. She talks to her attorney a lot. Who goes to the post office? That's a good point. That's a good point. Who goes to the post office when you could do it online? Let's turn to page 25 and look at page line 399 on August 26th of 21 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You contacted Bertolino again. Do you know why? No. How long was that call? I don't. Prior to August 28th of 2021, did you have any reason to call attorney Bertolino regarding your son, Brian? Can you repeat it again? Oh my God, I just lost my spot. Prior to August of 28th of 2021, did you have any reason to call attorney Bertolino regarding your son, Brian? Not regarding Brian. Wait a second. Okay, hold on a second. August 28th, she calls Bertolino again. August 28th. Bertolino. Hold on a second. And on the same date of August 28th, about a half an hour after you call him, there was a call to your phone from his office. He must have called me back. Again, do you know what that phone call was about? No. I would just have to assume it was business related. Older people go to the post office, i.e. Roberta. She changed the address. Oh, I absolutely 1000% believe she changed the address. There is no doubt in my little baby brain. Sorry, I'm trying to readjust. I have to sit like 8 different ways all the time. There's no doubt in my mind that she changed that address. And then the same day at 5:38, you call Brian again and it went to voicemail. Do you see that? Okay. So again, remember, from what we know, we think that Gabby is deceased on the 27th. When did they, I want to know when they paid for the retainer. Yes, I do. And then the same day, August 28th at 5:39, you and Brian had a phone call for 7 minutes. Do you recall what you spoke about? Yeah, those I remember. I saw he was trying to call me, but I was with my grandson on the beach, so I figured I'll call him tonight or something when I have a chance. I can't really talk. It's windy. I can't hear. So I ended up talking with somebody for a while. Oh, so he. Okay, so yesterday your husband said, well, I guess that wasn't the day the stuff hit the fan. I fucking hate this family. Chris Laundrie referring to the day that Gabby lost her life as stuff hitting the fan. The total disregard for this girl. So yesterday your husband said, well, I guess that wasn't the day the stuff hit the fan. I guess it's the next day. So your recollection at that point is 5:23. He was talking to your grandson. Yes. There was another phone call from Brian to you, correct? Yes. And you recall talking to him for 10 minutes and 13 seconds at the time. You know what's funny? I don't recall. But I guess I talked to him too. I didn't remember that. Do you know what you talked about? Probably just telling him about, I don't remember exactly. Probably just how are you doing and the race and, okay, the boys talked about the race. Phone call is placed from your phone to Brian, correct? I see that one, and actually I wanted to clarify. I just remembered something from the last phone call. I remember saying, I can't really talk long. I'm at the beach, but when I get home tomorrow, we'll talk. They give Laundrie a bad name. So I did remember just now that other phone call. I mean, honestly, I don't think I could remember a phone call from 2 years ago. I don't know. How did Brian sound to you when he called you on that day? Because I don't even know when this is. I think this is 2023, and they're talking about, talking to Brian on the phone in 2021. So I reluctantly give Roberta a little bit of grace. Yeah, Brian's parents' actions were despicable. Repulsive. I like that. Repulsive. What's another good word? Yeah, disgusting, despicable, abhorrent is another good one. I don't remember exactly which call it was. I don't know, but I remember we had a long talk. I thought we talked for a long time, and I just told him about our summer and what we were doing, caught up with him, information about the boys, told him about the race, weekend to Daytona. This is the day that your husband said you had a phone conversation with him when the stuff hit the fan. Deplorable. Yes, I've used that. I love that word. Deplorable is a good one. Thank you, El Jacad. Oh, El Jacad, welcome in. You get the clap. Everybody's getting the clap today. I remember the very tail end of that conversation with him where everything seemed fine and we were saying goodbye. He all of a sudden completely changed and he sounded very upset and his voice was very upset and I didn't know why and I didn't want to push him. So we just said goodbye, but it left on he was very upset. And so when I got off the phone, I told Chris, Brian sounded upset. Maybe you should give him a call. Not me, Brian or Chris or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't care what his name is. The other Laundrie. He took the call. Well, according to the records that I have, your husband didn't talk to Brian until, I'll withdraw that. According to the records I have, you spoke with Brian for an extended period of time on the 29th. It looks like for a total of 54 minutes. Does that sound correct? Maybe that was the call where I said, you should call Brian back. Okay. We talked twice that same day. Maybe we talked earlier and then talked again later. I don't remember. Well, I think this is just my interpretation of these records. I could be wrong. But if you add up the 36, 37, and 1751, it totals 5428. So that's why I'm thinking that the phone call, wannabe, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. I love the funky guitar. Thank you. I appreciate you. If we're all getting the clap, we should go in on some bulky antibiotics. Yes. Thank you. Okay, your lives. Be back next week. All right. Now I lost my spot. Let's see. Okay. I don't know. So that's why I'm thinking the phone call was, I don't know why it split up, but that's why. Oh, so it was one. You think it was one call. It was one call. Maybe we got cut or redialed. Okay, I don't. And it looks to me like line 423 and 424 is showing that they began at the same time. That's why I think that. Okay, so if you, by Mr. Riley, I don't know who this is. Love your lives. Be back soon. Yay, thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you, Wannabe. So if you were on the phone for 55 minutes at this time, which would have been from like 4:30 to 5:30, your husband immediately after that phone call, contacted attorney Bertolino, according to the records that I have. Do you know why? After you got off the phone, or maybe even while you were on the phone with Brian, he contacted an attorney. Roberta says, I thought he called Brian after we got off the phone with me and spoke with Brian, or Brian called him. According to the records that I have, and I think I reviewed them with your husband yesterday, he called attorney Bertolino at 4:23 p.m. He didn't call Brian until 4, about 20 minutes later. Oh, I don't know then. I'm confused. I'm not reading it right. Well, did Brian tell you in the conversation that he needed a lawyer? No. And you can't explain why either immediately after you were speaking with Brian or during the phone call, your husband called attorney Bertolino. No. I thought he called Brian. I don't know. Did you speak with attorney Bertolino that day? No. Oh, did I? Wait, I don't recall. After that phone call that you had with Brian on the 29th, when is the next time? Strike that. Your husband testified yesterday that Brian told him that Gabby was gone. Did Brian ever tell you that? No. Okay. How did you find out that Gabby was gone? I guess Chris must have told me after he got off the phone with him. Okay, and what did you understand, quote, gone to mean? Roberta answers, I wasn't sure. I don't even remember what I thought. I just know from the tone of Chris's voice, it was something serious. And maybe you would ask a question. What do you mean gone? Did she leave? Is Brian there by himself? What do you mean gone? What is gone? What is gone? Okay. Your husband described his voice as frantic. Would you agree when you spoke with him he was frantic? I would just say upset. I don't think he was frantic. He was definitely upset. He was very upset. He didn't sound like himself. I knew something was wrong. And you didn't ask him what was wrong. Well, it was as we were saying goodbye. I didn't want to push him, and I just thought, well, maybe he's just sad. Oh my God, this fucking bitch. Maybe he's just sad to say goodbye. Maybe he's just so sad to say goodbye to me, his mother, the pie baker. He was just so sad that he was crying when he got off the phone with me, this 24-year-old man. It wasn't until I got off the phone that I thought, no, he sounded more than just sad. Your baby sounds upset on the phone and you don't say like, hey, like, what's going on? Talk to me. What's up? What's up? You had a good relationship with your son. No response. Yes? Yes. You knew he was upset. Yes? Yes. But you just said goodbye. Yeah, I thought he was sad to say goodbye because I'm the best mother. I'm sure she drinks out of a world's best mom mug. And I don't like to, I figured if he has anything he wants to talk about it, he could talk about it. I don't like to push people and say, what's wrong? What's wrong? But she didn't even ask once. Your husband told you that Gabby was, quote, gone, correct? Yes. Phone calls were made to attorney Bertolino, correct? Right. Why would you make a phone call to attorney Bertolino if you didn't know what, quote, gone meant? Well, Chris had told me Brian wanted him to call a lawyer. And you didn't say why. I think that's when Chris was telling me that Brian said, Gabby's gone and please call a lawyer. Okay. So if Gabby's gone, please call a lawyer. Doesn't that say to you she's dead? I don't know what to think. I don't remember if it crossed my mind or if I was just so nervous. I just thought he was in some kind of trouble. I don't know. If you thought he was in some kind of trouble, wouldn't you also ask why? Even if it had nothing to do with Gabby Petito, wouldn't you ask why? I need a lawyer, and you need to loan me $25,000. Why? No? Okay. What other possible explanation could there be for she's gone, please call a lawyer? A lot of things ran through my head. Possibly they got into a fight and maybe she's going to press charges against him or something. I didn't know. Could also ask that. Why would she be able to press charges against you, Brian? Plausible deniability. I know, but still. Well, did you? I thought. Did you ask? Well, I didn't call Brian after that. I don't know if we talked again that day. Your son's upset. Your husband says Gabby's gone. Your husband says call a lawyer. You call a lawyer and you never call your son back immediately and say what's going on. What's happening? I think I spoke to him finally later in the day. I thought I called him back that night, but it was 2 years ago and I don't remember exactly. But I thought I did call him back later that night. But by that point, I think our attorney had said, just don't talk to him about anything. He'll talk to Brian. Which, okay, that would make sense. I can see an attorney saying that. Do not have any contact with Brian. And exactly what El Jacad said, plausible deniability. Her and Chris Watt's mom need to ride into the sunset together. Yes. Yeah. She probably thinks Gabby probably provoked it. Chris Watts' mom and Roberta Laundrie are my nightmare rotation if I smoked pot, along with Casey Anthony. But yeah, I do think that is probably what the lawyer said. The lawyer's probably like, do not talk to him under any circumstance. He needs to get home, and you guys do not talk to him. Can you tell me any possible option based on the circumstances as you knew them on August 29th? Your son's upset, his conversation with your husband, Gabby's gone, call a lawyer, any other possible explanation other than she was dead. Objection! Asked and answered. The witness, that's what I was going to say. Nobody should let me read these reports. But you can answer it. Oh, a lot of things crossed my mind, and one of them was maybe that they got into a fight. Maybe she's going to press charges against him for maybe he hit her or something, which that was one that ran through my mind. A lot of things went through my mind of what do you need a lawyer for, but why would you think that your son, who is so even-keeled and so kind and so loving and so even-tempered, would hit Gabby? If my son called me and was like, I need a lawyer, I wouldn't immediately think like, oh, he hit a woman. That would not be the first thing that ran through my brain. Let's read this one again. A lot of things crossed my mind, and one of them was maybe that they got into a fight and maybe she's going to press charges against him for maybe he hit her or something. So you do think that your son is capable of hitting her and being physically abusive, yes? But the fact that maybe he murdered her went through your mind, didn't it? I don't know if I even wanted to. I think I was so panicky, it might have gone through my mind. I can't recall what I was thinking. You gotta be fucking shitting me. Roberta Laundrie, who has her fingers in everything and who has a control and lock and key on her son and would bake a file in a cake and put bodies in a bag and fly to the moon and get new guts and all this stupid bullshit she put in a letter, would be like, I don't know what I was thinking. I panicked. I don't know what to say. I didn't ask questions. Bullshit. 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 Well, from the time that you had that conversation on August 29th until December 1st of 2021, did it go through your mind that your son may have murdered Gabby? I can't recall. Her fingers in all the pies. This pie bacon bitch, I swear. Something as significant as your son committing a murder, which you now know he did. You can't recall if you remember thinking that back in... Who is this lawyer? Because I like him very much. Or her. Who? I want to know. Objection! She's answered that already. I need a gavel sound. But you can answer it. I don't remember. All the thoughts I thought, I was panicking and thinking a lot of thoughts. It's hard to think back to a time with new information. What you thought at the time, but it probably went through my mind. Yeah. Your kid calls you panicked. You get and that's the other thing, right? A $25,000 retainer for a lawyer? This isn't a fucking speeding ticket. Like, the price of the retainer should tell you something. And here's the other thing. When you call a lawyer and you ask for their services, they're going to ask you what it's for. You can't just be like, hey, I need a lawyer. All right, that'll be $25,000. No, you have to explain it to them because they want to know how to charge you for these services. So when Brian said Gabby's gone, when Chris reached out to Stephen Bertolino, he had to tell him why. Why does he need me? Was it a traffic violation? Was it a domestic dispute? Is it murder? What, you know what I mean? Like, no lawyer's just going to take on a case and be like, yeah, I'll just make up a number. And you're right. That's not chump change. This isn't a $2,500 retainer. This is a $25,000 retainer. That's big money. Can you tell me back in August, on August 29th of 2021, that the thought of Brian murdering Gabby didn't go through your head? I can't remember specifically what went through my head. When Brian came home, we'll strike that. How did it end up that Brian came home? I think that night, but I can't recall with the records. But I thought the night he called back and said, I'm driving home. Again, I'm driving home with Gabby's van. You know that van belongs to Gabby. You love Gabby. You think there's a possibility that she might be alive, and you're just going to let your son leave her in Grand Teton, Utah. I don't care if this is my son or that's going to be my daughter-in-law. I would call and be like, listen, either you two get it together and get in the fucking van and get home, or I'm calling Gabby, even if she is not my daughter, and I'm like, listen, get on a flight. We'll figure it out later. You two cannot be together. You're separated, but get on a flight and we'll talk about it later. Your son told you that he was going to drive her van that belonged to her home. And you didn't ask where she was, if she was okay, how she would get home. Brian just said she's gone, and you thought, well, thanks for talking, guys. See you later. In the most disrespectful way, Roberta, eat my ass. Unbelievable. And for her to sit here in this deposition and be like, I loved Gabby. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's what I say to that. Who did he speak with? Me. I'm driving home. So he says I'm driving home. He speaks with Roberta on August 29th. I thought so, but now, well, my memory, I guess I could be wrong. But I thought that night, unless it was the next night, but I thought that night he said he was driving home. You know what? I should make a video just on this fucking deposition. I'm all for telling him to get it together. But if he tells me she's dead, I'm ashamed to say I would help him cover it up. Well, we had a good run. What are you talking about? Oh, my God. Yeah, you and I are not on the same page. I would not help my son cover up a murder of an innocent girl. I would help my son, not her son. Yeah, no, nope. I am not helping my son cover up the murder of an innocent girl. I'm not, and I won't. Listen, I would take a bullet for my kids. 1,000%. I would do anything and everything that it took. I would go to jail for my kids if somebody tried to hurt them. I would absolutely go to prison for my son. If my son committed a crime, I would not go to prison for my son. I said I was ashamed. No. I would kill someone for my kids. Like, if they hurt my kids, I ain't calling the cops. Nope. But also, like, if my kids committed a crime like that, I would not go to prison for my kids. No. Why? So they could be out and commit more crimes? No way. Well, then you're not a good boy mom.
I'm a boy mom.
I need that sound now. But I thought that night he said he was... FBI has entered the chat. Yeah. You know what we need? Is that we need the SVU sound. The dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. It's just me singing it. According to the phone records that I've reviewed, after 4:37 in the afternoon on August 29th, you had no further telephone conversations with your son that day. You tried to call him at 7:12 p.m. and left a voicemail message, or maybe left a voicemail. And left a voicemail message, or maybe left a voicemail message. You tried to call and didn't connect with him. If you turn to page 27, he tried to call you at 8:07, so I'm guessing that would have probably been the 29th. He called you, but it went to voicemail. Dun, dun. Yeah, the Law and Order. On the same date, 8/13/15, which I think would be August 29th, he tried to call you again, but the call didn't go through. It was unanswered. All right. 10:38 at night, there's a 22-minute phone call with him. Is that when you recall having the phone call with him? Yeah. I remember. Also, I like that they're like, yeah, we just continued to talk to him after the lawyer told us not to. So. Is that the, I remember it was before I was going to bed, and I think Chris was already asleep. And I remember he said he was driving home. Your husband was already asleep at that point after getting a phone call from your son that Gabby was gone. He was frantic. Call a lawyer. Was that the same day? Yes. These fucking people. Well, it was a long weekend. We'd been away. We'd been at the beach with the kids and the race. He falls asleep early. God, what do you think? His son killing somebody is going to keep him awake? No. I can't with this fucking family. The disregard that they have for this poor girl. What did you speak with Brian about on August 29th about 10 o'clock? That was when he said he was driving home. And in that conversation with him, did you ask him any details about Gabby being gone? No. Why not? I don't know. Because you don't care. You should have just said, no, I didn't ask him because I don't care. Just say it. Just say it out loud. Say the quiet part out loud because I don't care. I don't care where she is. I don't care what's going on with her. The rage I feel when I read how cavalier people are. Right. It's insane. I was nervous. I was upset, tired. I think at this point, Steven had already said, don't talk about anything. Yet you guys are still trying to call each other back and forth. He also comes back to your house and lives in it. And then you guys go to Fort DeSoto on a camping trip, the whole family. And nobody's like, hey guys, there's a really fat fucking elephant in this room. I think we should talk about it. Like nobody? No, you're just eating pies? She just bakes more pies for you to fucking clap over? And you guys are like, oh, Roberta, the pies. Thank you for the pies. And nobody says anything? Nothing. I hate this timeline. Okay. Well, this is I don't. Okay. This is a young girl you told me you loved. Someone you loved. Someone who is going to become a part of your family, and you asked no questions about her or your son when you learned, or of your son when you learned that she was gone. Correct? Correct. Hey, everyone. I watched the Netflix documentary, so I'm caught up. T-Bear, you get the clap. Welcome. Let me read that again. This is a girl you told me you loved, someone who is going to become a part of your family, and you asked no questions about her, of your son, when you learned that she was gone. Correct? Correct. Her husband's name is Christopher. I know. I don't care. Her husband's name is Shitstain Laundrie. That's his name. Then you didn't love her. You didn't love her. If you couldn't do the bare minimum of asking why she was gone or where she was or even if she was okay, you don't love her. That's not love. Weren't you concerned about her? I was. But I think it was my son. I was concerned for my son. What were you concerned about for your son? This fucking slut. Oh my God. I can't. I'm going to need to make a video about this deposition. He was driving home. He was very upset. I knew he wanted Chris to call a lawyer. So I think I was just telling him, if you're coming home, I don't remember what we talked about. I just remember that he said he was coming home, and I didn't ask him anything. If Gabby walked off on her own, would you have told your son to drive home in her van with all her stuff in it, leaving her in the middle of Grand Teton, Utah, alive, alone, and stuffless? Moneyless, penniless. No, I didn't tell him to drive home. He said he was on his way home, and I thought it really is Brian's van. Maybe her parents would pick her up and come get her. I don't know. Whoever this lawyer is, thank you. Well, you told me that you saw the title was in Gabby's name. So why would you think that it was Brian's van? If we go back to whatever page it was, she said early on that she knew it was Gabby's van. I just want to let you guys know that my mother-in-law is upstairs, and she probably doesn't have any questions at all. She's probably like, I don't fucking care. No, they knew it was her van. They knew it was her van. Okay, hold on. That's the thing. In order to cover up what crime my son has committed, I do need to know exactly what happened. Now I understand that I need to retain plausible deniability, but still, I would need to know all the ins and outs. Do you think his parents thought it was his van? Shame on them. Yeah, no, they knew it was her van. I think the parents knew when he went to clean out the storage bin, he probably told him what he was going to do. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know. Because I believed he paid for it. He worked on. If he paid for it, why would the registration be in her name? If he was smart, he would have left the van at Spread Creek. Well, thank God he's not smart. We applaud that. Brian being a dumb motherfucker. It was just a nice gesture that he put it in her name. No. I'm not going to buy a van with my money and put it in somebody else's name. Especially somebody that I'm not married to. What? He wasn't too bright. By and large, criminals are not smart. I knew that she couldn't afford to pay for her. Or didn't want to pay for her. She was leasing a car and she didn't want. And Brian was paying for the lease. And she finally drove home and left the car at her parents' house. And so I think he just wanted to put the van in her name to be nice. But I don't remember her even ever driving it. So when you learned that your son was on the way back, you didn't say to him, wait a minute, what about Gabby? You have all her belongings in the van. You can't just leave her there. Well, object to the form. You can't answer. Oh, I just figured, it was his van. And I know when my daughter broke up with her boyfriend, they divided their belongings later sometimes. Okay. Oh, later. Okay. But still, this lawyer, did your daughter kill her boyfriend? I never asked. Oh my fucking God. You never asked? They broke up. I never asked my daughter why they broke up. I mean, when people break up, I don't ask the details. Did your daughter kill her boyfriend is what is being asked right here. Did your daughter kill her boyfriend? I never asked. You stupid pie bacon bitch. Do you have any concerns that the young lady that you loved, who you described as sweet, loving, friendly, someone who was going to be your daughter-in-law, part of your family, she lived with you, did you have any concerns that her body might have been laying out somewhere unprotected? No, I didn't think that. But I was concerned for her well-being because I cared about her. But my son's driving home, and I'm nervous for him. And... oh, you're concerned about her well-being. So what did you do about her well-being? Well, just, Gabrielle. I thought she always could take care of herself. That's not what you said earlier. What you said earlier was she needed a lot of help. She needed help changing her address, her mailing address. She needed help figuring out how to do stuff with her checks. She needed a lot of help because she couldn't get that stuff done by herself. And her small little lady brain, according to you, she needed Roberta's help. But now all of a sudden, she's fine. She could take care of herself. I was just concerned about my son at the time. And I figured maybe her parents would come to get her. Or she would. Last time, he left her in a hotel. Because that's safe. She did all the work. She made and earned the money for the van or the trip. To be fair, I wouldn't immediately jump to, did you kill him if my kid broke up with her boyfriend? No. But that's the thing, right? Like that's, okay. If my kid broke up with her boyfriend, but if she broke up with her boyfriend and said she's driving home in his car and asked you to get an attorney for $25,000, you think nothing? How would her parents come to get her? Like they would drive her flight out. And where would they go? Well, I don't know. Wherever she was. Where was she? Out west on their vacation, their trip. Where in particular? Actually, I didn't really keep track of where they were on their vacation. You had Gabby's phone number, didn't you? Yes. You're concerned about her well-being. Did you try to call her? No. Did you text her? No. Did you take any effort to try to communicate with her and see if she was okay? Well, no, because I was just concerned about my son, and I don't know. You were concerned about your son, yeah, because you knew he murdered Gabby, right? No. Objection! You can answer. No, just because I was concerned that he was upset and I knew he needed a lawyer, and I hope not. Oh! I mean, it was a terrible thing and I hope not. You hope not what? They knew something was up even if he lied to them. We have certain intuition when it comes to immediate family members where they can really BS you. There's no way that they didn't have an idea. Let me tell you, I got to tell you, if anybody calls me to get them a lawyer and it costs $25,000, I'm thinking something, okay? You don't even have to be an immediate family member. I'm thinking something. So Brian gets home September 1st in Gabby's van, correct? Yes. And all Gabby's stuff was in the van, correct? I don't know what was in the van. You never looked inside the van. No. Did you see Brian's belongings bringing things into the house? No, I think not. What? Not, I think so. I think I recalled him bringing stuff in. What if it was some of Gabby's stuff? I didn't look at it. I didn't look at what he was bringing in. You know that eventually her stuff was found inside your house, correct? Yes. Including her laptop. We need the dollar store lawyer. Because Brian's mother is lying. Exactly. Oh, I don't remember what they found. They gave me a list of things they took, but I don't remember if her laptop was there. Okay, so when Brian gets home, you expressed your concern about Gabby. Did you ask him about Gabby? No. I think by that time, let me tell you something. As a mother, there is not a fucking attorney in this world who could get me to stop talking to my son. You better tell me where she is right now. I think by that time, my attorney advised me just not to talk about anything. So I just gave him something to eat and we didn't talk about anything. As a mother, as someone who had loved Gabby despite what your lawyer said, why didn't you ask questions of your son? Object to the form, you can answer. Okay, but that's what Steven told us to do, and that's just what I did. Okay, so you could write her off that easily. Objection! I wasn't writing her off. Why didn't you contact Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt? Objection! It's been asked and answered. I never asked her that question, which is true. Well, just my attorney told me not to talk to anybody. So I just didn't talk to anybody. Had you met Nicole Schmidt before? Yes. On how many occasions? Once or twice. Have you ever met Joe Petito? Never. Just so you guys know, I got about a 10-minute window before I got to go. He honestly and truly thought that he was going to return home, tell people that she left him, and that people would not question him and actually feel sorry for him, another Chris Watts. Yeah, I think there's a part of me that thinks that thought he was gonna get away with this. I get that I had to get an attorney for him for killing her, but why do I have an attorney? Did Nicole Schmidt, after September 1st, ever try to contact you by phone? Yes. Did you answer the call? No. Okay. Because of your attorney's advice? Yes. Did she send you a text? Yes. Did you answer the text? No. Because of your attorney's advice? Yes. Did you block her? No. Which, I wish I had the same energy that you put into those objections. Okay. Did she reach out to you through Facebook Messenger? I don't know. I wasn't really not that I know of. I wasn't really on Facebook. Did you and Brian ever communicate through Facebook Messenger? I don't believe so. No. I don't even know if he has Facebook unless it was like in high school. Since August 29th of 2021, have you ever tried to reach out to Joseph Petito or Nicole Schmidt? No. When Brian came home, what did you do? What did the three of you do? You, Brian, and your husband. We mostly stayed home. You motherfucking bitch. We mostly stayed home, prepared meals, went out to dinner, I think once or twice, and watched TV. Not much. Imagine sitting at a fucking Applebee's while you guys share a fucking awesome blossom or whatever they're called, and your son has killed someone. Okay? You're like, I'll take the trio appetizer. Yeah, the potato skins, fried mushrooms, mozzarella sticks. Thanks. What? frankly, I would hope that my son is smart enough not to do something stupid like this. And if he did kill someone, he would just turn himself in. Like, good boy. Or even better, don't commit murder. Yeah, don't be a piece of shit. That'd be great. That would be super great. You went on vacation, didn't you? Oh, yes. Yes. We went overnight to Fort DeSoto because we had reservations. We couldn't miss those. We could not miss those. Not off the back of Gabby Petito. No. We had just bought a camper and we wanted to test it out. Your life went on as normal. Well, we did. We did normal things, yes. What am I reading?
What am I reading?
As far as I'm concerned, it's pretty easy not to commit murder. I've done it my whole life. Yeah. How could you go on vacation knowing that Gabby was gone while the Petito family was looking for her? Object to the form. We just had planned to go and test out the camper overnight, and we were just doing regular things. I don't know. The way that I want to punch holes in my own screen right now, as a parent, if my son took off with his girlfriend to go cross country and he comes back without her, there's questions. And no, you didn't leave her on the road. No. If you guys can make it back and split up, or if you guys, whatever. This is disgusting. Well, you had a reservation for Fort DeSoto for a different time, hadn't you? I believe it was the same weekend, but maybe a longer time frame. Then they take a break. Mrs. Laundrie, at some point, you pie bacon bitch, Brian left your house, and I think your husband testified yesterday that it was September 13th. Does that sound correct? Yes. By the way, does Mr. Bertolino still represent you and your husband? I believe so. Yes. For what? Without going into details. Anything related to this case. I always think of him as my attorney for everything, but so yeah, for this case. Okay. I guess so, yeah. That's why he's here. Right? So when Brian left, what was his demeanor? When he left that morning to go hiking, he was just going hiking. You knew he was leaving to go hiking, yes. Attorney Bertolino had stated on several occasions that Brian was grieving when he left. Was he grieving? I didn't see him as grieving. Why would he be grieving? They went out to dinner, got some fucking baby back ribs. They went camping. They had vacation reservations. Come on now. I wouldn't use the word grieving. I don't know. He was, I guess, worried and concerned. And I know he was talking to Stephen on the phone, but we tried to keep things. Stephen Bertolino told us to just keep him close and keep him calm, and that's what we did. I hate everything. Ding, 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 ding. I hate everything. I don't keep an attorney on retainer. I do have a business attorney that I call all the time, and every time I call him, I have to pay for it because I own my own business. And he was the one who helped me start getting my business, and I can call him anytime, and it costs me money, but I don't keep him on retainer. Keep him close and keep him calm. Did you ever see him as grieving after he returned September 1st? I don't know what he was thinking or feeling. He was your son, right? Yes. And you never discussed what happened out in Wyoming with him. Oh, I keep saying Teton, Utah, but it was Wyoming. I'm sorry. No, Jakad. I don't keep one just in case I feel like doing a crime. Oh, my God. All right. I got to turn this off because I got to go be a parent who loves my daughter who would ask fucking questions. who wouldn't take her out to a TGI Fridays if she committed murder. That's, some of us are different. I might be doing parenting wrong. I might be. I have to say. Well, with that being said, this has made me very upset. If you guys want me to do a full video of a breakdown on this, I can do that. If you guys want me to continue talking about it on the live, I can also do that. Just let me know. You guys have been great. You guys have been a blast. Love to you and all the baconettes. Thank you. You guys are awesome. This has been my favorite. You guys are great. Other than that, next week will be my Gabby Petito video. Full breakdown on the documentary that just came out on Netflix. And I will see you guys then. Let me turn this off so you can get some music. I love you guys. Bye.